Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're breaking down a highly effective, totally proven playbook for cracking Google AdSense approval in 2026. And look, this isn't just some vague theory we're tossing around. This strategy is pulled directly from 8 to 9 years of real-world, in-the-trenches AdSense experience. Our goal today is super clear. We want to get your websites monetized and fully approved. The best part, you don't need to hire some expensive marketing agency, you don't need a massive team, and you don't even need to pay freelance writers. We're going to leverage artificial intelligence, but we're doing it in a very specific, strategic way to actually lock down that approval.
Okay, let's dive into this exact step-by-step playbook. We're going to cover the approval struggle, Phase 1, which is an AI site audit, fixing the red flags, Phase 2, focusing on human-like content, and finally, the golden niche rule. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the approval struggle, and demystifying the rejections. If you've been in the website game for literally any amount of time, you absolutely know the frustration of submitting your site to AdSense, waiting, and then getting hit with that automated rejection email. It's soul-crushing, right? People start to think it's just a lottery, or that AdSense just isn't approving anyone anymore. But honestly, that's simply not true. The rejections are systematic, which means getting approved is also systematic. So who is this explainer actually for? Listen closely and see if you identify with any of these scenarios, because this strategy was built from the ground up to solve your exact roadblocks. There are basically 4 distinct types of webmasters this strategy directly helps. First up, we've got the dreamer. This is someone who wants to start building a site but is completely paralyzed because all they hear online is stories about rejections. Second is the stuck beginner. Maybe you went out, bought the hosting, secured the domain, but now you're stuck because you just don't have the English writing skills to pump out articles. Third, we have the terrified webmaster. Your site is built, the content is sitting right there, but you are literally too afraid to hit the apply button because you don't want a rejection on your record. And finally, the disabled account veteran. You've had an account banned in the past, and now you just want bulletproof account safety. Well, the beauty of this AI playbook is that it works seamlessly, regardless of your technical background or past failures. That brings us right into Section 2, Phase 1, the AI site audit, diagnosing the errors.
Okay, so here's the very first step of our playbook. A lot of people get this wrong. We aren't going to start by just having AI write thousands of words. Nope. Instead, we're going to use Claude AI as a ruthless diagnostic tool to spot the errors you're probably completely blind to. It's our diagnostic scanner for existing sites. By simply pasting your website's URL into Claude and giving it a specific prompt to act as an auditor, it does this deep dive scan for fatal flaws. In the source material, they use this exact prompt on a site called Net Worth On. Now, this was a site that had successfully brought in like $15,000 to $20,000 over 3 years. But when they ran it through this AI scanner today, it was completely torn apart by the bot. It revealed exactly what Google's current algorithms would immediately flag as unacceptable.
This diagnostic scan instantly highlights these super common but totally invisible red flags hiding just beneath the surface. It catches outdated articles from years ago. It spots bad site navigation and clunky structure. It checks for those absolutely crucial missing foundation pages. Your privacy policy, about us, contact pages, and missing ads.txt files. It even catches directly copied content. Actually, in one wild instance from the source, the AI caught a situation where a team had lazily copy-pasted raw YouTube video subtitles directly into an article, completely unedited. I mean, wow. These are the invisible tripwires that trigger automatic AdSense rejections, and your AI auditor will find them all in a matter of seconds.
Now that we have the unvarnished truth from our diagnosis, let's move to Section 3, fixing the red flags, the treatment plan.
Listen, it only takes 2 to 3 hours to fix these issues. That's it. Spending just a couple of hours manually combing through your site and fixing these highlighted red flags, updating dead links, generating a quick privacy policy, pulling down those scraped YouTube subtitles, it can drastically overhaul your website's health. You really don't need to be a skilled web developer for this. You just need to systematically check off the punch list the AI handed you. And why does this matter so much? Because fixing these specific issues pushes your AdSense approval chances up to 90%. That is a massive return on your time for just following the AI's audit instructions before you ever even think about clicking apply. It's basically like walking into the AdSense exam with the answer key already tucked in your pocket. Once your site is structurally solid, we jump to Section 4, Phase 2, human-like content, the cure for robotic writing.
Now we use a second, highly specific prompt to tackle the biggest hurdle of the entire process, generating high-quality content that Google actually values and wants to slap ads on. There is a massive night and day difference between robotic and human-like AI. Standard, out-of-the-box robotic AI relies heavily on generic, soulless phrases. You know the ones. Starting every paragraph with, "in today's digital world." Ugh. Google's spam filters can spot that from a mile away. But by using our second prompt, you literally force the AI to adopt the persona of an experienced tech blogger. It uses a natural, conversational tone. It writes as if it has actually experienced the thing it's explaining to a buddy. It strips away all that formal, overused AI jargon and leaves you with content that feels genuinely authentic.
Let's look at how this builds into a super concrete, repeatable workflow. Step 1, you run that human touch prompt in Claude with your chosen topic. Step 2, you take that natural, conversational output and paste it right into your WordPress editor. Step 3, and whatever you do, absolutely do not skip this, you add 2 to 3 compressed, highly relevant images to the post. Google desperately wants content that feels genuinely experienced, and a huge part of that experience is being visually supported by lightweight media that actually relates to the text. We're talking real, relevant visuals here, not just random, generic stock photos.
And finally, we arrive at Section 5, the golden niche rule, focusing on prevention and maintenance.
So even if you have a perfectly audited site and flawless human-sounding content, there is still one final non-negotiable rule required to maintain safety and secure that AdSense approval. This is all about the concept of the micro-niche. A micro-niche means you are focusing strictly on one highly specific subtopic. The source gives a brilliant example here. If you're writing about cricket, you don't write about every single format of the game. You write exclusively about T20 cricket, period. The absolute worst mistake you can make is creating a broad, mixed bag of a website. Like imagine publishing an article about online earning, following it up with a post about US jobs, and then just casually posting about Cristiano Ronaldo's net worth. What is that? Filling a site with random, disconnected topics is a massive red flag that absolutely destroys your topical authority.
So here's the crucial takeaway for you. Sticking strictly to a micro-niche doesn't just help a little bit. It literally multiplies your AdSense approval chances by 10. By staying in your lane, you build this undeniable authority that tells Google's reviewers exactly what your site is about and exactly who it serves, and that makes their decision to approve you incredibly easy.
All right, we've covered the whole playbook today, from bypassing that fear of rejection and diagnosing your site's hidden flaws with an AI scanner, all the way to generating authentic human-sounding content and locking it down with a strict micro-niche strategy. So I'm going to leave you with this question. Are you ready to stop guessing with your content and start systematically diagnosing your site? Take these concepts, apply these 2 AI prompts to your own web projects today, and finally take control of your monetization. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.